Welcome to Bonefire Foundations, episode 21. How did Christ, being the Son of God, become man? This is Dr. Kevin T. Goddard bringing you answers to the basics of Christianity. Today's question is, how did Christ, being the Son of God, become man? Christ, the Son of God, became man by accepting a body of flesh and blood and a soul like Adam had before the fall, being conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit in the womb of the Virgin Mary and given birth by her, yet without sin. Jesus voluntarily took the form of a man so that he could die for us. Hebrews 2:14 says, "Since therefore the children share in flesh and blood, he himself likewise partook of the same things, that through death he might destroy the one who has the power of death, that is, the devil." Jesus died, overcame death through his resurrection, and rendered Satan powerless over everyone who is saved by Christ's atoning work on the cross. Matthew 1:18. Now the birth of Jesus Christ took place in this way. When his mother Mary had been betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found to be with child from the Holy Spirit. The important point here is that Mary was a virgin. Even though they were legally bound to each other, they had not yet consummated the marriage with sexual intercourse. Being pregnant when Joseph knew he wasn't the father would have been grounds for divorce, so it was essential that God communicate his plan to both Joseph and Mary. In Luke chapter 1, verses 27, 31, and 35, the angel Gabriel is sent to deliver a message to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary. Gabriel tells her, "And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son, and you shall call his name Jesus." Which, Mary being a virgin, had some questions. And the angel answered her, "The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the child to be born will be called Holy, the Son of God." A similar message was delivered to Joseph. The virgin birth is essential to salvation. Jesus was supernaturally conceived, which testifies to his deity and breaks the chain of sin from Adam so that he is sinless, making him a worthy sacrifice for sin. Gabriel also clarifies that the Holy Spirit would create the conception inside Mary. Pagan mythology has plenty of examples of gods having intercourse with humans, but this was God's Spirit working in Mary's womb supernaturally. Matthew 26:38. Then he said to them, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death. Remain here and watch with me." Again, we see Jesus clarifying his very nature. Like Adam, Jesus has a soul. Jesus was not afraid, but he was sad almost to the point of death because he knew he was going to receive God's wrath for all of the sins of those whose names were written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Jesus also experienced humanity and temptation. Hebrews 4:15, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin." Jesus intercedes for us with God because he understands the temptations we go through because he experienced them. Unlike us, he resisted temptation. In order to be a fitting sacrifice, a fitting intercessor for our sin, Jesus had to also be God. Hebrews 7:26 explains, "For it was indeed fitting that we should have such a high priest, holy, innocent, unstained, separated from sinners, and exalted above the heavens." Jesus is holy, without evil, free from anything that could make him unholy, without a sin nature, and only God can be exalted above the very heavens he created. Finally, the birth of Jesus was foretold in Isaiah 7:14. "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel." Ahaz refused God's command to ask for a sign, so God gave his own sign, which was Jesus. Emmanuel means God with us, and Jesus was bestowed with this title as well as many others. How did Christ, being the Son of God, become man? Christ, the Son of God, became man by accepting a body of flesh and blood and a soul like Adam had before the fall, being conceived by the power of the Holy Spirit in the womb of the Virgin Mary and given birth by her, yet without sin.